Hey, off the top of Papa, what you did to me was so improper. It could only be compared to how Skyward did to Mufasa. Funny how your friends a kid will become your oppa. Evil me and meeting ugly and chasing behind dollars. You pathetic. That which was to put something in your spaghetti. You got babies in the world and they do not respect their dad. Let me ask you, was it really just the fact that made you petty? Go and grab you a machete, try to cut me up and fed it. Greetings and salutations, this is Tech Plays here, back with more Silent Hill 2 Remake. That was my favorite verse of 2024 by Killer Mike. It's from the song Disgusted. I had to start a video off with that because I've been holding that in for so long, been wanting to just go off with that verse for so long. Kendrick definitely takes the cake for my favorite, both my favorite album and my favorite song of 2024, but best verse definitely goes to Killer Mike for that one. Anyway, statistics say that only 0.1% of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. So, gonna just say, if you're not subscribed and you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscription button. I really would appreciate it. Let's move on. I also want to apologize for the start of the video. My mic was a little too close to my face. I stopped recording that first bit to basically go back and edit in the statistic screenshot to prove my point about, oh yeah, that coin. I know how to get that, but we ain't getting into later. But anyway, but yeah, basically, mic was too close to my face, so it was like picking up, like, it was doing like that thing that happens on mics when you like speak too close into them. So I do apologize for that. I'm trying to remember exactly what's going on at the moment, because I know that we can't really get that coin yet. I think that might be the... Could be wrong, but I think that's the second coin we get, because I think there's another coin we can get more easily. I forget what order we collect them in, though, so it'll be a bit... I think. Could be wrong, but I think we get all 3 coins by the end of this video. So it shouldn't really be, like, too big a deal, you know? Me checking the map, because I don't know what the fuck to do. See, this game loves its locked doors, more than Resident Evil games do. And it really confuses me at some points, because there are points like this, where, like, it feels like there's nowhere I can actually go. Newsflash, there is. It's that room across from me. But for some reason, I don't think to check that until now. Does Past Me check it, or is Past Me still lost? I think Past Me still lost. Because I'm pretty sure we can enter that room that was across from me. I think. Could be wrong, but I think we can. Either that or we're intended to go somewhere this way. We'll see, I guess. Oh, looks like we might have needed to go this way. Nothing in there. What's in here? Again, nothing. Don't you hate when you open, like, drawers and cabinets in a horror game and there's just nothing there? What's this? Oh. It's just one of those things. I forget what they're called, but they're kind of useless to me because I'm not trying to go for everything. I'm just trying to get what, like, materials and shit. But oh well. There's a hole in the wall, so obviously I need to go there. If I remember where I'm at correctly, I think I'm about to run into someone. We'll see. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's in the thumbnail of the video, so we run into him at some point anyway, but I think we're about to run into him now. Not right this second, but like in the next couple minutes. We're gonna run into him, I think. If it's just on I think, because I could be very wrong. Okay, I think I'm wrong because I don't remember there being another room that was open near him, so don't think we run into him yet. Oh, I know this room. This the room. This the room we get our gun. Hell yeah. Who the fuck leaves? Who the fuck leaves a handgun just laying in the fucking shopping? Why the fuck do they have a shopping cart in their apartment? By the way, no, I gotta question that. Why do they got a shopping cart and why is there a handgun laying in it? The fuck? We're not in the other world right now. This is not like hallucinations of James's or anything. He actually uses the handgun, so the handgun's real. So what the fuck? Why is there just a shopping cart in the middle of the fuck? I'm sorry, that's funny to me. That's really funny to me. Like, I'm really sorry. This is me trying to figure out where to go again. Yeah, I get lost quite a bit, especially in the early game. Once I get used to how this game works a little more, because you gotta keep in mind, I come from Resident Evil games, which are not as convoluted as some of this game gets. This game is like Resident Evil on steroids, a little bit. Like, it's more maze-like than Resident Evil games are, which Resident Evil games are already a little maze-like because locked doors is shit. It's more scary than most Resident Evil games I play. I gotta emphasize most because there is two Resident Evil games that still scare me more than this game ever has. That is Revelations 2, which is... dude, Revelations 2 is a scary game. I don't care what anybody says. I don't know how you play a game that involves creatures like the... what are they called? The Glast? Let me look it up. The Revenants and the Glass, I think they're called. Hold on, I'm gonna double check myself. It has been a minute since I've looked up like Resident Evil Revelations enemies. But you know what I'm talking about? The invisible bugs that like do the creepy thing where they try to spit like larva all over you. It's Glasp. I was right, yeah, Glasp. The Glasp and the Revenants from Resident Evil Revelations 2 are, to me, the scariest enemies in all of Resident Evil, and maybe, well, no, not all horror games. There is a boss in this game that creeps me out more than they do. So, actually, let me retract. This game has scared me more than any Resident Evil game has, but that's partly because I'm desensitized to Resident Evil stuff, and this is like something newish to me. Like, at the same time, Dead Space didn't scare me at all. That was one of my issues with the Dead Space remake. I never played the original Dead Space for context. My two main issues with the Dead Space remake was the combat felt too exploitable because I could just spam stomp enemies at some points, which made like conserving ammo feel pointless. And then there was the fact the horror just felt like not that scary to me. I don't know, maybe it's just how I'm built, but like I get scared at like the Resident Evil stuff a little bit. Like even to this day I still get spooked at almost every Resident Evil game I play. It's just not as much as like back when I first started playing Resident Evil. Like, you gotta keep in mind, the reason I find Resident Evil Revelations 2 so fucking scary is because it was my first Resident Evil game. And it was my first horror game in general. So a lot of stuff in it just like hits harder in the scary department for me because of that. And then like, what's the other Resident Evil game that scares me a lot? It's not 7. 7 has become very unscary over time. Like, it's probably one of the least scary games to me. It's not Village. Village has a couple moments that really scared me and still do on replays, but it's not nowhere near the scariest. It's Resident Evil 1. Resident Evil 1 Remake. That's the one. Resident Evil 1 Remake and Resident Evil Revelations 2 are the two Resident Evil games that even after I've played through both of them, like, as many times as I have, they still scare the fuck out of me at certain points. Handgun ammo, don't mind if I do. It throws me off that the ammo colors in this game throws me off because it's very different to Resident Evil. In Resident Evil games, right, if I'm remembering correctly, I'm going off like memory from specifically RE2 Remake and Revelations 1 because those are the two most recent RE games I've played. You could tell by my channel because I did a live stream series for Resident Evil Revelations, which unfortunately means I'm never doing a regular Let's Play of it, so if you want a Let's Play of Resident Evil Revelations, it's already on the channel. It's just in live stream form, so go check that out if you really want to. And then I did, like, I started a hardcore A-rank run Resident Evil 2 Remake on my channel through live stream, but I never finished it. I have beaten Resident Evil 2 Remake on hardcore with an A-rank. The live stream was kind of just me trying to recapture that, redo it, but on live stream. Then I just decided I don't like doing live streams. I want to go back to doing like the pre-recorded videos with commentary edited in post. Like, this is just more fun and so much more of a chill vibe to me, and it's so much easier. It's so much easier to commentate this way. I can show off my gaming skills better this way because fucking hell, I don't know what it is, but commentating while playing a game really fucks up your gaming skills. There are so many moments in my Resident Evil 4, not Resident Evil 4, in my Resident Evil Revelations playthrough via the live stream series I did of it. There's so many moments of that I just went, why the fuck am I this bad at this game? But a lot of it has to do with the fact I was needing to commentate at the same time, which just made me worse at the game. I don't know why that's a thing, but it is. You'll see it with this game in particular. This game is definitely harder than Resident Evil Revelations. And I do die quite a bit in this game, but you'll see as the game goes on, I get better and better at it, and I die less and less. I mean, part of that's because I have the combat on light. I will admit that. That's part of why, like, I cut out a lot of the save points, because at first I was, like, embarrassed by that. But I have the puzzles on normal, so I don't think... I think for a first run, I'm excused for that, because I usually play every game on normal mode for my first run, like, all normal shit. But the combat in this game was a little more rough around the edges. Maybe not rough around the edges. The combat in this game was harder than I'm used to for horror games. Because let's face it, Resident Evil is smoother and easier combat-wise than almost every game in the series, with the exception of Revelations and RE1 Remake, which are definitely a little tougher for one reason or another. Surprised we haven't run into Eddie yet, because I thought we did it by this point, but I guess we don't. We do gotta go this way, though, if I remember correctly. I do miss some things. I think I missed an important key item when going this way. And then I go back for it later. I could be misremembering, though, like, who knows. There's a mannequin in here, if I remember correctly. I think I saw it run by. Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, now that I know their name, it's like ingrained in my head. Like, I don't want to call the lying figures because it's a long name. And it just feels more fun to call them Vomit Boys. But I'm calling the mannequins by their proper names now because it just fits better than Leggy. You know, like, I feel like mannequin's just a better name for them. We're gonna run into some really annoying ones later. Okay, the enemies in this game, for the most part, I really love for one reason or another. I like the mannequins because they scare the fuck out of me, and I like being scared in a horror game. And I'm not someone who gets scared by jump scares. You might notice it with, like, what horror games I prefer. Jump scares don't do it for me. Neither does getting chased by an unkillable enemy. In a game where, like, I can't fight any enemies at all, like, okay, there are exceptions. Like, Mr. X and RE2 Remake obviously scares me, but that's an enemy I could technically down for a little bit and then run past. And then at a certain point in this game, Pyramid Head chases after you a couple times. He scares me. But Pyramid Head's done in small doses. When I'm talking about, like, being chased by an unkillable enemy doesn't scare me, I'm talking about the Outlast type shit, where that's the whole game. Because I'm sorry, after being chased by, like, unkillable enemies for, like, the first hour or so, the scariness wears off really fast. I also just don't like those kind of games, because I prefer I prefer the vibe of fighting the vibe of fighting back against the horror. Like you could do with Silent Hill 2 Remake and pretty much every Resident Evil game. Hell, even Dead Space did that right, even though I didn't really care for it. I prefer being able to fight back against the horror because it feels... I don't know, it feels more accurate to how someone would respond in this type of situation. Because I doubt someone would just run and hide throughout the whole, like, time. Like, eventually they're going to get fed up and want to fight back, you know? I feel like that's how the human brain's wired. Like, eventually you're going to get sick of running and hiding, and you're just going to be like, fuck it, I want to fight this bitch. I feel like that's just the way the human brain's wired. Like, it feels more likely that you do that. I know me personally, if I was actually in these types of scenarios... After, like, running for so long, I would get fed up and want to fight back. I'd probably get my ass killed doing it, but, you know, I'd want to fight back. Hi, mannequin. Yeah, these guys scare the fuck out of me at times. Like, that one right there, I think, definitely caught me off guard going by my gameplay reaction. Like, the mannequin we saw earlier, I saw it run by, so it didn't really scare me. But this one right there... Judging by past me's, like, game reaction, I think that one actually scared me. But yeah, mannequins can be really spooky. Or really annoying, depending on what type there is. For context, I think every enemy has an Otherworld version. Or, well, I don't know if the spider mannequin is an Otherworld version. It might just be a different variant. But, here's the thing. Those other versions are harder in one way or another, right? Like what's it called? I don't know what the alternate, like, lying figures are called. But they're the ones that, like, we're gonna meet them very soon. I think either in this video or the next, we're gonna run into them. But these lying figures I'm talking about, that we're about to run into soon... They explode and spit out their vomit everywhere when they die. They're also weaker than regular lying figures, which is interesting. That's something that's a little weird because they go back and forth with that, with the alternate versions of the enemies. When you get the mannequin alternate version is the third one you run into, because you get the nurse one second. The nurse one is if I remember correctly, tankier than the regular nurse. And does more damage, but has a, like, lower range of attack. And then you get the spider mannequin, which is harder to shoot. It's like the opposite of the alternate nurse. Is like the spider mannequins are faster, but less durable. Like you could take about you'll get a hunting rifle around the time you run into the spider mannequins, and it will one shot them pretty much. If I remember correctly, I think it'll one-shot them. I think some of them you might have to shoot twice. I guess it just depends on where you shoot them. I don't know where enemy weak points are in this game because, like, most enemies in this game don't have the, like, obvious headshot weak point. Like, that might be the weak point for nurses. But, like, for line figures and, I'm gonna look this up. Silent Hill 2 enemies. I want to know what the alternate enemies are called. You know, I'm going back, like, off topic of what I was just talking about, but I want to know what they're called. Like, we got the lying figure, the Mandarin. Oh, the Mandarin, man. The Mandarin aren't nearly as annoying as the spider mannequins. But oh boy. Oh boy. What's the creeper? Oh, that's the little roaches we've been killing. Yeah, okay. I'm not getting... What? What's the Otherworld version of the line figure called? It's also called Armless Man. That's interesting. The funny thing about the line figure is I think it's the only monster in the game that appears in every area. I'm looking at the area list. Yeah, it appears in every area. I think it's the only monster that does that. Mannequins don't appear until, if I remember correctly, I don't think they start appearing until we enter the apartments. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we ran into mannequins before either this video or last video when we first entered the apartments. But again, I could be wrong, so correct. If you want to correct me, go ahead. I don't remember if we ran into them before that. But mannequins are also absent from the Historical Society building, which I guess isn't saying much because it's a small building. I think literally all you run into there is a single line figure. We'll get there, we'll get there. Are they in the labyrinth? I don't remember. Oh well. Let's see. Upon entering Sappho, he discovered a trail of blood spirit. Okay, whatever. Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. What's the other version of the line figure called? Dude, it's bugging me. What are the other versions called? Otherworld line figures. I've seen a lot of, like, when I look up info on this game, I see a lot of complaints about things not being as subtle as they were in the original. And when I'm, like, seeing the original versions of, like, monsters designs and stuff, I'm like, that kind of works for the better in some ways. Like, there's a boss we'll get to later. The boss I was, like, sort of, like, hinting at earlier. We're not getting to it for a long while, but I think it's the third, maybe the fourth boss. I don't remember. But there's a boss later in the game that was made scarier because of how more like obvious it is in the remake. And yeah, in some ways subtlety is better. Like I'll admit that, but I never played the original, so I can't. I have no say in like what worked better as being subtle in the original. But I think I know for sure that the boss I'm thinking about that comes later that I've seen people complain about not being as subtle as the original. I feel like that's better. It's more scary. But yeah. More scary, more creepy. Oh, are we finally running into our friend here? Yes, we are. Poor guy. I'm obviously talking about the guy in the fridge, not Eddie, but you know.
Hey, who's there?
It wasn't me. I didn't do it. I didn't do it, I swear.
Hey, are you okay?
I didn't do anything. He was like that when I got here.
He... Oh, you mean the man back there? In the kitchen?
I didn't do it. I swear I didn't kill him.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm not saying that you did. Look, my name is James. James Sunderland.
Eddie.
Eddie, okay. So, do you live here, Eddie?
No. I'm not even from this town. It's just...
Something brought you here.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that. Well, they came at me. I didn't know what to do, so I ran. I came here. Figured it might be safe, but then I found the guy in the fridge.
Easy, deep breaths. Look, this place, it's not safe. These things, this whole town, there's something wrong with it. Might be best if you just get out of here.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, you want to come with? Maybe together we can find a way out of this town.
Oh, sorry, but I can't leave. Not yet. I need to find someone.
Oh.
And Eddie, be careful.
Yeah, you too.
Eddie is a character I kind of go back and forth on if I like or not, because like most characters in this game I have a formed opinion on. The only ones I could really like speak on at the moment are Eddie and Angela, because they're the only characters we've seen enough personality from to really, for my points to really stand. Angela is a character I feel bad for throughout from start to finish. Like, I haven't really finished the game yet. I'm literally like in the last stretch of the game. I'm literally at the point where you have to ride a boat to the hotel. That's where I'm at the time of doing this commentary. So I haven't beaten the game yet, but from every cutscene I've seen of Angela, I just feel really bad for her. I think she deserved better. She didn't deserve to go through all the shit she was put through, all the trauma involving her father and shit. Like, she deserved better. But then we have Eddie, who Eddie's a character I like because he's entertaining, but I also don't like because it's hard to say. Like, as a character, love Eddie. He's entertaining, he's creepy, I just love it. But when we're talking like as a person, obviously I hate his ass. Eddie is a fucking creepy guy who I don't really want to say it because it's kind of a spoiler. He kind of like tries to convince himself that he's always in the right. It's not necessarily like a narcissistic thing or anything like that. It's more like he's a murderer. He's killed people. And he always like, I don't know. Eddie's like a hard character to really pinpoint how I feel about, because I love Eddie, but I also like, if I was in James's shoes, I'd get annoyed with him a lot. If that makes sense. There are two other characters I have a lot to say about, but I won't really be able to say more on them until later. And the opinion I have on these characters is without the context of whatever happens in the hotel at the end of the game, because I haven't gone through that. I know the hotel's the last segment of the game because I've been like checking my progress through Google and stuff, and that's the last area. Oh fuck, I need to heal. Paspy, why aren't you healing? Please heal, Paspy. In this early game, I struggle a lot with healing items. Like, they're very low, but once you get to the hospital, they're like everywhere. If I remember correctly. I think it's the Otherworld hospital when you start getting a lot of them. I want to say. Paspy, heal. Heal. I know you got a healing item. Fucking heal. Okay, good. But yeah, the other two characters in question are named Laura and Maria. I feel negatively about them both. Whereas with Angela, I like Angela and I feel bad for her. With Eddie, I like his character, but he would annoy me if I met him in person. Like, I'm mixed on Eddie. I like Angela, but feel bad for her. With Laura and Maria, I don't like them. You'll see why later. Particularly, okay, with Laura, it's just the case of she's an annoying kid, and I don't like kids. But that may change by the end of the game, because maybe there's, like, some moment where, like, she's more likable or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to feel about Laura by the end of the game. But I'm pretty sure my opinion on Maria is set in stone. I don't like Maria. I really don't. I'm not at the end of the game yet, but like Maria, to me, comes off as somebody who is very manipulative. Is basically trying to make James give up on his life. Like, she feels like, I don't want to use the word bitch to describe a female character because that feels wrong. But, like, that's what she feels like. I don't like calling, like, women bitches because that feels like, to me, that feels wrong. Like, I was raised better, obviously. But I feel like that's the only word that can really describe how I feel about Maria, because she's like, even if she was a male character, I think I would still use the word bitch to describe her. So it's not like I'm calling her a bitch because female. No, I've called men bitches before. It's not like I'm not one of those people that just call women that. You know, like I feel like that's wrong. I use the word bitch as a general insult for anybody. That's why I'm like against using it to describe a female character, because it'll just come off as me just being one of those people that call women bitches, and I'm not. So this is the room where we gotta go. We gotta go to the next side there, but past me is lost. Let me think of a better word to describe Maria, because I'm not comfortable calling her a bitch. I'm not. I'm really not. What's a better word to describe her? Basically, I'm someone who hates manipulative people. And that's why I really don't like Maria. Because early on in the game, she just seems like she's supposed to be a manifestation of, like, a version of Mary, right? But the more we see her, it feels like she's trying to traumatize and manipulate James, and I know James is not a good person. I know the revelation that comes near the end of the game already because I've seen Let's Plays of the original Silent Hill. I've also of Silent Hill 2. I've also seen a Let's Play of the remake a while back when it first came out. I forgot most things about the remake, which is why I get lost so much. But I did remember, like, okay, we need to do a cut here. But I did remember a very important revelation that comes later. I know James is not a good person. But I'm still, like, very anti-manipulation. So, like, even though I think James doesn't deserve the best, he definitely deserves some of the hell he gets put through in this game. Knowing what I know. But I have a mindset where I feel like manipulation is one of the worst things you could ever do to a person. I really do. Because it fucks with them mentally, it fucks with them emotionally. Like, I think manipulation is one of the most cruel things you can do to somebody. And I feel like even James doesn't really deserve that from Maria. Like, that's why it annoys me. But yeah, that's basically my whole reason for not liking Maria is just... I don't like that she manipulates James as much as she does. I'm very anti-manipulation, as I've pretty much made clear by now. This is still past me being lost. See, this was obvious as hell. The hole was right here. But yeah, instead of calling, like, Maria, you know, I'm just gonna call her manipulative, because that's my main issue with her, is that she's manipulative. So yeah. Let's grab this ammo, unlock the door. So I did a little cut here because I made the mistake of thinking I needed to go downstairs and drop it in, but no, we're supposed to drop it in up here. So I basically just cut out that part. Not to hide my mistake or anything, but because it would have basically been filler. It would have been filler for the video, and I like to cut out any filler I can when I'm Let's Playing. Especially when, like, the clips I record for a game are an hour long. Like, I don't do hour-long clips for every game, but I do it for longer games like this one and Akambot. So, yeah. It's also why, if you, like, watch my Sonic Frontiers Let's Play, Sonic Frontiers was the first longer game I played. And you can tell because I struggled a lot with, like, cutting it down. Like, I feel like my video editing skills when doing that Let's Play were very poor. Because I wasn't used to, like, trying to work around a game that was that long. But since then, I've played other longer games. I've played Dot Hack GU Volume 1. I've played, I'm playing Silent Hill 2 Remake right now, as well as Akambot. I played Resident Evil 4 Remake. Like, I've played longer games since then. And I've gotten better at editing them, so, yeah. I believe we got 2 of the coins. No. Oh, wait, no, we gotta go outside to get the second coin. The third coin's in a pool. Fun fact. I feel really dumb about not going into the pool to get that coin earlier because, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's connected to Eddie's room, or at least you have to go from Eddie's room to get to it. So it's very obvious, but oh well. I'm going to be ending it off here, so bye.